Well, hello, folks. It's another Wednesday, and we are going to be ranking yet another puzzle game for the Game Boy. This week, that game is Puzzle Nintama Rantarou. And if that name sounds familiar, that's because over here at number 13, we already ranked a puzzle game for the Game Boy, based on the Nintama Rantarou IP, which is interesting. I mean, it's not that odd to me that a popular franchise, a popular manga and anime and what have you, would have more than one game. More than one puzzle game for the Game Boy. It's a little interesting. I didn't play too much of this, just enough to see if it worked and see what it was, but my gut tells me that the other one's the good one. But who's to say? We gotta play the game to be sure. And this screen is not... I knew there was something I forgot to do. Give me just one moment here. There's that. Okay. All right. So we have these choices. What's the bottom one? 33311. Oh, we can change numbers. I'm going to refrain from changing numbers. Okay, hang on. Okay, before we get too into this, I'm gonna go ahead and let's just pick the top option. Okay, that's this again. All right. So this has like sort of a Puyo Puyo thing going. Okay, so it looks like any grouping of three. And there's like light and dark variants. Doesn't seem to matter. They seem to both clear out. Oh. Oh, we got some garbage on our board. I'm not immediately clear on what the difference is between the light and dark blocks. Something happened. I made the exclamation mark disappear. The other guy did something cool. Select and start don't do anything. I don't really know what... Oops, oh, something happened. Stuff is clearing out from the bottom. I don't know why. I kind of feel like I've just been thrown right into it here. I don't... I'm a little lost here. Normally, kind of discerning the mechanics is... What? Okay. Why'd the music change? What is... I don't understand what's happening. Okay, apparently I lost. No, that's the next window. What's he doing? Okay, I'm just gonna copy whatever his move is. Whoops. Okay. So, matching 3 throwing stars with an exclamation mark did something. Someday we might get this. Okay, but what? Did I do that, or did he do that? What is the win condition? Is it score-based? I think it might be score-based. Oh, is it timed? Is that it? Yeah, it's timed. Okay, so it's 3 minutes. I'm guessing going for points, I assume. Okay. Let me recalibrate here. Note to self, stop trying to set things up. Why didn't that do anything? Keep trying to set up those throwing stars. It just won't let me. And it seems like when the stack goes too high, like the bottom just kind of carves out for you. I guess they don't want hitting the... I don't know that... Have I thrown throwing stars at him? I don't know that I have, because... like, the game just won't... There? Did I do it there? Okay. Yeah, so the music changes when there's 20 seconds left on the clock. I barely have a lead. What does that animation mean? Wait. Oh, no, he took back the lead in the last 5 seconds, it seems. This is gonna be a tough one to criticize. also a frustrating one to play. What did that do? Like, it seems like sometimes it just turns the tiles into garbage, and other times it doesn't. There. It only took about, what, 15 minutes? But I won a single round against the first opponent. Woo! Maybe I can go into the options and set one of the numbers to 1. Yeah, that's my mistake. Oh, great. Yep. Well, Seems like you really want those throwing stars. That seems to be the move. The throwing stars seem to work without the exclamation point. Am I overthinking this? What does the other one do? Like, what is with that? The one that makes like the cloud of smoke. What's that all about? What is that doing? To kind of watch the other screen to see. It doesn't seem to do anything. Well, I mean, there's going to be other modes to check out in approximately 3 minutes. tutorial might be, if there is one, might be worth looking into. Even if I can't read any of the text, the demonstrations might be enough to explain some of what the hell's going on. Those 3 bombs don't seem to have done anything, but like, oops. I think there's an idea here. Feels like there's aspects of this game that sometimes work and sometimes don't. And I haven't figured out what distinguishes them. I think the question mark is a wild, yeah, so we can, but why didn't it clear that? Okay. is... How do you do this? How do you... This is going to be a weird one to rank because I don't understand. Okay, we're just going to have to hope there's some kind of explanation in here somewhere. Okay, I guess that's two-player mode. That doesn't seem to do anything. Come back here. What's this one? What's the bottom choice? What's the bottom choice do? Okay, points don't seem to matter. There's a lot more types of tiles. So I take it this is the one where they don't give you the assist, right? Yeah, so here we hit the top and that's that. Okay, so which setting caused that to happen? Oh, they make you sit on that game over screen for a while. First choice, first... Nope, okay, second choice, first choice. Okay, this is timed again, but still has more tiles. Okay, so that's what those settings mean. Well, let's reset. I've got that all sorted out. What was this again? What's up? this. Okay, this looks like another time mode, but single player. Alright, so I think it's... if it's 3 in a row, they can be the same tile but a different color. But when it's just like clusters, they have to be the same color? Like if I put this here... no, that doesn't count, but it doesn't count for bombs. The rules are different for bombs than they are for tiles. I think. And how do you clear tiles? Like, how do you clear the garbage tiles off the board? What do you do? How do you make that happen? So that's fine. Okay. Let's look at this again. Top choice. Oh, no, there's just that one. So, yeah, this is top choice one way or another. Okay. Let's close that. Okay. And let's reset, because it is a little weird that it won't let you top out in certain game modes. That's interesting. That is the most kind of unique feature of this thing. Okay, bottom choice, top one. What's this? So, it's still a 2-minute timer. But it has the other tiles, I think? Okay, reset this again. Bottom choice, bottom choice. Okay, so this is the mode with no time limit, and I guess, so this one you can top out, I'm assuming? Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna play that mode a little bit more. Okay, so now we sort of know where we stand with this, mostly. I'm still not sure what the exclamation points do. It obviously has something to do with, like, because they clear out when they're connected to matching tiles, but, like, to what end? Like, what are they... Yeah, and so the question marks are like a wild card. Which makes me suspect that maybe the exclamation marks are just sort of underwhelming wild cards. Like they disappear if they're in contact with a match, but that's it. I'll say, earlier on when I was looking at this, I was thinking that readability might be an issue. It doesn't seem to be so far. Seems fine in that department. Oh, whoa, what was that? How did that happen? That was not happening in the other... what? How... Those 3 exclamation marks by themselves doesn't do anything. There's no timer on screen, but that fuse seems to be moving. So I wonder what that's telling me. My guess is the speed level is going to go up when that thing hits the top. No, it dropped a garbage tile. Okay. This thing's really stingy with those bomb tiles as well. That's starting to become a problem. Especially where I really could use one of the light bombs right about now. There, one of these. That there. Okay, so I am at speed level 4 now. Or level 4, I guess. The speed seems to be about the same. Wild cards work on bomb tiles. The music's a little repetitive. Or a lot repetitive, depending on how you look at it. Well, I think it's gonna take a while to... Especially where I don't know what's causing the... Oh, there's two numbers at the top. Oh, no, I think one of those is my previous high score. So, yeah, whenever the fuse hits the top, it's gonna... drop some trash. Of course, the amount of trash that it drops is probably corresponds to a level of some sort, some kind of numeric value. We're now level 7. I am just out of questions at this. Like, just nothing's gonna get answered. Just get used to it. I guess there's one last thing I want to just quickly check. Yeah, did a little better that time. Looks like it held on to my score even after I reset. Did I reset? I think nah, whatever. Let's just go back here. Yep. That move where you separate the pieces does not exist in this mode. That was the last thing I wanted to look at. There we go. So, I talked about this a little bit with Pack Attack, where you have this, straightforward idea for a game that it's maybe a little too similar to what other games have done. And so you add these mechanics to try and separate it, and then you have to add these other mechanics to try and balance out the ones that you added, and then you have to add other mechanics to balance those out, and this kind of feels like it fell into a similar trap, where they definitely wanted to make a Puyo Puyo game, but just went down this weird rabbit hole of design decisions trying to set it apart. And it makes for a very confusing game to play. It's right out the gate. This does, again, there are options on that thing that it would not let me choose, and normally that means there's a two-player mode. That's usually what that tells you, because it needs to detect the link cable and what have you. This could be good as a two-player game. I think, again, I'm going to have to make an assumption here, because where I can't read the text. I'm going to give the game the benefit of the doubt and say that there probably was a setting in the options where I could make the CPU a bit dumber, so that they weren't just so immediately relentless on the first level. As far as planning and strategizing, I don't know, it just seems like there's way too many opportunities for your board to get messed up for you to really plan too heavily. You really just have to kind of be as aggressive as you can be. And I mean, that's fine in and of itself, though it does feel like you are expected to sort of understand how to play this at a higher level than that. Which is why taking on the computer is not very fun. And it would be the same problem if, again, I talk about this like, oh, it would be a great multiplayer game. It'd be a great two-player game. As soon as one person gets in a little, or maybe not a little more practice, if this clicks for one person and not the other, it goes right back to being one-sided. I mean, that's every that is every competitive puzzle game to some extent. There is something trollish about that style, and it's the case in Puyo Puyo as well. But that game is also kind of simple is the wrong word. Puyo Puyo is very straightforward in sort of basic design. It's a color matching game, right? You drop the little blobs and the ones that match colors disappear. And there is complexity in strategizing how to create chain reactions, and combos, and sort of hit your opponents with those giant sort of stacking compound moves that just throw a ton of stuff at them. This just feels a little too elaborate. I'm sure it's not impossible to learn how to sort of play this effectively and competitively, but I can't imagine spending the time to do so. I don't know. It's got a few interesting ideas. The fact that, sort of that main mode is basically like a timed score attack, and the stack drops when you get too close to the top. That's kind of a clever idea. That is... Credit needs to be given where it's due. I think that is clever. You say like, no, this mode focuses on scoring, so we're just not going to worry about that. It's just not going to happen. Just keep going. Just keep focusing on trying to get points. That is a big point in this game's favor. That is a big one that I really do need to, just call that out specifically. That specific mechanic, that's clever, and it's good. And it would be cool to see that in more games. The single-player mode... Well, this is single-player, is in the non-competitive, the just endless mode is... I don't know, it's a little tedious, and probably picks up over time, and probably decent to get in some practice at all the moves without having to worry too much, and they still do the little garbage drop, that's nice. But overall, it's definitely not as good as the other Nintama Rantarou puzzle game on this list. But it is better than Cool Ball. But it's not as good as Pack Attack. But it is a little bit better than that kind of screwed up port of Puyo Puyo. It's definitely not better than Pocket Puyo Puyo 2 way up here, We can put it above the other one, this one. This one had some problems. It's better than Boulder Dash. It's better than Stop That Roach. It's better than Flappy Special. It's better than Loops and Hattress, I guess. It's better than Word Zap. It's better than that messed up Portal Lemmings. We're gonna have to get to the other. There's a Lemmings 2 for Game Boy. We're gonna have to get to that at some point. It's not as good as Flipple. And so, it's our new number 35. We now have a 72 game list. And that is going to be me for this evening. I'm going to take a quick look who there is to raid. There might not be... Oh, looks like Smite's doing something. Looks like... Oh, there's some Kuso Grande going on. You always watch some bad games over there. Jank Tank. Yeah, let's hop in here and have a look at some Kuso Grande. It looks like they're playing some kind of jank golf game. I will be back tomorrow night with live improvised music. I'll be back on Thursday night, or not Thursday. Yeah, Thursday night with live improvised music. I'll be back on Saturday night with music production. Until then, thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, and statistically you are, like and subscribe. Check out my music channel, just called Jaspertine. And as always, I do hope to see you next time. So bye for now.